Section: Introduction. In this section, we explored latent diffusion models, LDMs, and diffusion models in general, which have shown great potential in tasks like image synthesis, video creation, audio production, and 3D synthesis. However, a major challenge with LDMs is their low sampling efficiency due to the need for multi-step sampling, which can be time-consuming and costly. While methods like 50-step DDIM sampling ensure high-quality outputs, they can still be slow, especially on mobile devices. Unlike single-shot generative models like GANs, which don't require iterative refinement, LDMs have longer operational latencies, calling for efficiency optimization. Recent advancements have focused on faster network architectures and improved sampling algorithms to reduce inference time and the number of sampling steps. Techniques like diffusion distillation simplify the process by learning multi-step sampling results in a single pass and then using this knowledge for single-step predictions. Despite efforts to enhance diffusion models, smaller and less redundant models' sampling efficiency has not been thoroughly studied. One challenge is the lack of modern accelerator clusters for training high-quality LDMs from scratch, which can be time-consuming and expensive. In our study, we investigated how the scaling properties of LDMs affect sampling efficiency across different model sizes. We trained 12 text-to-image LDMs with parameters ranging from 39 million to 5 billion under a constrained budget using TPU-v5 and internal data sources. Our findings show that smaller LDMs may outperform larger ones under the same sampling budget. We also looked at how the size of pre-trained LDMs impacts sampling efficiency in tasks like super resolution and text-to-image synthesis. In summary, our key findings include the relationship between training compute and LDM performance, the importance of pre-training for downstream tasks, the efficiency of smaller models in sampling, and the consistency of sampling efficiency across different diffusion samplers. We also compared our work to scaling laws in large language models like GPT, PaLM, and Llama, which have shown how model size affects performance. While previous studies focused on language models, our work delves into scaling efficient diffusion models on internal data sources to showcase sampling efficiency. We also explored scenarios like fine-tuning and distilling LDMs to demonstrate the generalizability of scaled sampling efficiency. Section Summary. In this section, we investigate the scaling properties of latent diffusion models, LDMs, in text-to-image generation and downstream tasks. Our findings show that pre-training performance scales with training compute, downstream performance scales with pre-training quality. Smaller models sample more efficiently initially, but larger models excel in detail generation with relaxed computational constraints, and diffusion distillation does not fundamentally alter scaling trends. Additionally, smaller models consistently demonstrate superior sampling efficiency across various diffusion samplers and downstream tasks with fewer steps, suggesting potential for further improvement with increased scaling. Section: Efficient diffusion models. In this section, we explore efficient diffusion models and non-diffusion generative models. We found that increasing the size of diffusion models can enhance their generative performance. However, having very large models can be impractical for common inference budgets. Recent efforts have focused on improving sampling efficiency by enhancing network architectures or sampling procedures. Compared to diffusion models, non-diffusion generative models like variational autoencoders, VAEs, generative adversarial networks, GANs, and masked models are more efficient as they do not rely heavily on iterative refinement. Some recent studies have successfully scaled up non-diffusion models, such as style GAN and mask transformer models, for tasks like text-to-image generation. We developed a range of latent diffusion models, LDMs, based on the widely used Stable Diffusion version 1.5 standard. These models vary in size, with parameters ranging from 39 million to 5 billion. By incrementally increasing the number of filters in the residual blocks while keeping other architectural elements constant, we achieved controlled scaling. Our models were trained on around 600 million text-to-image pairs and demonstrated consistent generation capabilities as model size increased. we observed that the generative performance of our scaled LDMs improved with larger model sizes, especially after training stabilized. The performance trends showed a smooth scaling in learning capability across different model sizes. Pre-training these scaled models on text-to-image data and then fine-tuning them on tasks like real-world super resolution showed that larger models outperformed smaller ones in recovering fine details. The pre-training performance had a greater impact on super resolution results than the duration of fine-tuning. Overall, larger models achieved superior results even with short fine-tuning periods. Section Summary. In this section, we explore the efficiency of diffusion models by training smaller, more compact latent diffusion models, LDMs, and comparing their performance at equivalent inference costs. We find that non-diffusion generative models like VAEs and GANs are more efficient than diffusion models, requiring fewer sampling steps but more parameters. By scaling up LDMs with a range of sizes, we observe improved generative performance in text-to-image tasks, showcasing a smooth scaling in learning capability and the influence of model size on downstream tasks like super resolution and dream booth. Section: Analyzing the effect of CFG rate. In this section, we analyze the effect of CFG rate on text-to-image generative models. We understand that sampling parameters play a crucial role in customization, with the CFG rate directly impacting the balance between visual quality and alignment with text prompts. Previous experiments have shown that varying CFG rates lead to different clip and FID scores. We have noticed that the impact of CFG rate varies across different model sizes, prompting us to determine the optimal CFG rate for each model size and sampling steps using FID or clip scores. To do this, we sampled scaled models with different CFG rates and compared their results both quantitatively and qualitatively. Our findings indicate that changes in CFG rates have a more significant effect on visual quality than on prompt semantic accuracy. Therefore, we chose to use the FID score to quantitatively determine the best CFG rate performance. We then looked into the scaling efficiency trends of different models based on the optimal CFG rates at various sampling steps. By comparing the performance of models at different sampling costs, we observed a consistent trend. Smaller models often outperform larger models in terms of FID scores across various sampling costs. Additionally, we visually compared the results of scaled models, showing that smaller models can match the performance of larger models under similar sampling cost conditions. Furthermore, we explored the scaling sampling efficiency using different diffusion samplers to see if the trends observed were consistent. Our experiments revealed that smaller models tend to perform better than larger models under the same sampling cost, regardless of the diffusion sampler used. Even when using alternative samplers like DDPM and DPM Solver++, the scaling properties of LDMs remained consistent. We also investigated the scaling sampling efficiency of LDMs on super resolution tasks. Our findings showed that smaller models exhibit higher sampling efficiency when the number of sampling steps is limited. However, larger models demonstrate greater efficiency beyond a certain threshold. This suggests that scaled models maintain consistent efficiency on fewer sampling steps across tasks. Lastly, we examined the sampling efficiency of scaled models after distillation. Despite the common belief that larger distilled models sample faster, our results demonstrated that smaller undistilled models can still perform similarly to larger distilled models at specific sampling costs. This supports our proposed scaling sampling efficiency of LDMs, which remains valid even after diffusion distillation.